I think the job of being a teacher is so rewarding in so many ways.
The connection between you and the whole class, that's still unbeatable.
When my pupils are successful, it feels incredible.
I think the greatest thing for me is seeing the pupils that I teach love the subject as much as I do.
I don't think there's any other job where you get the same satisfaction.
That's why I chose to teach.
You could get £26,000 tax-free to train. Search, apply to teach. Selected subjects only, subject to eligibility.
All right. So before we play episode 483, I have a big announcement. The Academy of Podcasters nominated Gamertag Radio as a top podcast in the games and hobbies category. This is the same awards where they're going to have also the Hall of Fame ceremony. And wow, I'm in shock. Not only getting inducted to Hall of Fame, but also we got nominated, which, the chances are pretty good if we're going to win or not. So, I mean, hey, it's awesome either way. Just getting that recognition from the Academy, that's really, really cool. Thanks. And shout out to Podcast Movement. They've been involved with this event, and also Stitcher. And this is going to be taking place Fort Worth, Texas on July 31st of this year. So make sure to check it out. For more information, go to academyofpodcasters.com or podcastmovement.com. And, thanks, and let's see what happens. All right. Now let's play episode 483. Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, podcasting since 2005, you were listening to Gamertag Radio with your hosts Godfrey, Pete Rock, Paris, Pasta. Come on.
Welcome to Gamertag Radio, episode 483. This is your host, Godfrey, and this week we have, of course, the whole crew. Let's start off with Poston J.
What is up, y'all? Feeling good. How about you guys?
Pretty good, man. Only,
good,
two weeks left for E3?
Close. Danger zone, man. We're getting very, very close to critical mass of get the stuff planned out and go and get it done, because I'm pumped.
Yeah, it's going to be kind of crazy. Our schedule looks very, very crazy, especially Monday. I'm pretty scared about that day, and Tuesday. Those 2 days looks rough right now, so
we're ready.
All right, we also have Pete Rock. Pete, what's up?
Yo.
What's up, man?
Wait, E3.
Word of advice, Pete. Don't play basketball or any kind of sports.
No skiing, no snowboarding, no extreme skateboarding.
After E3, yeah. For those who don't know, Pete, the first time going to E3, he was on a wheelchair the whole time. And that was because he thought he was LeBron James, starting dunking and all these crazy basketball moves, and he messed up.
Broke my ankle.
Yeah, couldn't make that
the only person that's broke his own ankle playing basketball.
And also we have Paris. What's up, Paris?
You know what was funny? I missed that same E3 because I fractured my foot. So I didn't go.
So it was meant to be.
It was cursed.
Yeah, so me and Pete, we're going to be at Popeyes together, Roscoe's together. I guess we just brothers
Sparkle
of E3
brothers.
together. It's going to be great, man. I can't wait.
Sparkle brothers.
But I have to say, though, it hit me today. Like, it didn't seem real before, but like I was telling you earlier, it finally hit me that what's going to happen at E3 and the fact that we're going to be recording in a real studio. That just blows my mind. Never been in a studio before, so I'm excited.
Yeah, shout out to CBS Radio and Play It for hooking it up. We are going to record for the first time inside a studio during the week of E3. So it's going to be, Sunday night, Tuesday night, and, of course, the last day, Thursday. Right after E3, we're going to plan to record and stuff. So, dude, I'm excited, man. This is big, man. And, look, we have a couple surprises. I'm not going to say anything. Maybe I'll say a couple things right before E3 or the day of, but just be on the lookout. It's going to be pretty big, man. So anything else before we go to the next topic and intro and all that stuff?
No, let's do it.
This is Gamertag Radio. Voicemail 786-2737-GTR.
Hey, Paris, I'm getting ready for E3, and Harry's sent me another starter set because I'm having a blast with the blades and everything, man. So I'm going to be taking it to E3 because I need to look good. You know, we're going to a couple parties. We have a lot of appointments, and I would like to look very presentable to all those companies out there and people that we're going to meet. But another thing, too, Father's Day is coming up.
Well, that's right. Father's Day is coming up. It's going to be on June 21st, but Harry's has a special offer for you right now. Just for our GTR listeners, they are giving $5 off the limited edition Father's Day set using code GTR. That Father's Day set includes a razor, 3 quality blades, Harry shaving cream, and a brand new razor stand. You got the razor stand. I got the razor stand too. It's very nice. So
very nice.
Save $5. Use our code GTR. Don't wait, because this Friday is the last day to get free shipping on your Father's Day set in time for that holiday. So go to harrys.com, enter that code GTR at checkout, and get $5 off your Father's Day set. Again, use our code GTR and save $5. That's harrys.com.
Don't miss
Gamertag Radio's E3 2015 coverage, live from the Los Angeles Convention Center.
June 14th through the 18th.
Daily roundtable, interviews, press conferences, feedback, and surprises. Don't miss this year's biggest video game conference.
Paris.
Be happy that you're getting the game, and be happy that it's going to play exactly the same on all the platforms, and just enjoy it.
Pete Rock.
I would reload on purpose. Like, I'd fire once and be
Patrick.
So I've been all over the place, but now I'm back and ready for some podcasting.
Danny. Take their time to play their game. I don't want you guys to be rushing it.
This will be Gamertag's Radio biggest E3 coverage ever. Will Xbox show their biggest lineup? What are the plans for PlayStation for 2015 and beyond? With no Zelda this year, what Nintendo has plans for 2015? Will Paris be nervous to interview 343's own Bonnie Ross?
Bonnie, Dennis, thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Find out all this and more at gamertagradio.com or play.it. Subscribe now.
Voicemail 786-2737-GTR.
All right, head over to gamertagradio.com, listen to our past episodes, or go to play.it. Make sure to share the content with your friends and let them know about GTR. Also, very soon, we're going to be on Spotify. Make sure to follow us there. If you do have the iPhone, I believe there's certain people that already have the beta version. So just go to the settings of the app, and there's like a blue icon on top. It's like for you to check out like a sneak peek how the app looks, the new design, everything. Click on it, and once you're there, search for Gamertag Radio and follow us. If you do find us, take a screenshot, post it on Twitter or Facebook. Let us know. I'm really curious to see how it looks and stuff. So give us a call, 786-273-7GTR. That's 786-273-7GTR, or email us, fanmail@gamertagradio.com. So today, was it today or yesterday, Paris posted an interesting tweet about Sony first-party games in 2015.
Well, it was just, and I'm being bad on names right now, but one of the heads over at PlayStation was in an interview, and I think they were having a financial call or something. I apologize for not having that information in front of me right now. But basically, just what he was saying was that Sony's 2015 PlayStation first-party lineup will be sparse in 2015, a.k.a. what we've been saying the last few weeks. What do they have in 2015 as far as games go? So basically, before E3, they've pretty much fully admitted it. And side note on that, they've also deemed the Vita as a legacy product outside of Japan.
Wow.
So that was actually
I didn't even know
Sony. That was the Sony CEO Andrew House at the Electronics Investor Relations Day 2015.
Yes, thank you.
We met him before.
Yeah, yeah. He's the main one that talks at the press conferences now.
Oh,
Replace
yes.
Jack Tritton's the
We met him at the Ubisoft booth behind closed doors. They told us that he was coming.
No, that's not him.
That's not him? You sure?
Positive. He's a British fellow. Talks with an accent.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Wrong person. Sorry.
No, I know who you're talking about, and God, I can't think of his name either. But yeah, we met him at was that Far Cry 4 or whatever it was?
Yep, Far Cry 4. Yep, exactly. Yeah. Interesting. And what about third-party exclusives, like them getting?
Well, they're just basically saying that getting third-party exclusives has become harder this generation, which makes total sense. You know, third parties, they're going to want to be on every system possible. They're not going to lock themselves down to one system. So if they do go exclusive to one system, aka Titanfall, that means Sony's going to have to pay a boatload of money to be able to secure that type of deal. I mean, it actually makes more sense in this day and age to secure deals like they did with Destiny, with Activision, where, it's on the Xbox One, but things like Hawk Moon, certain strikes, things like that, you can only exclusively get on a PlayStation 4, because I know that helped me make my decision. I was like, oh, if you're going to have more content on PlayStation, guess what? I'm getting it on PlayStation then. So, but I'll just say this real quick and I'll shut up. This has been my worry the entire time. And people getting mad at me on Twitter again because I'm saying, oh no, actually, let me backtrack. I was watching the bonus round last Sunday with, Jeff Keighley and the panel that he had on there. And one of the gentlemen on there makes the comment, Sony's not going to have a lot of first party, but they don't need first party because they already have such a big lead. I don't agree with that. I think they got the lead and you want the lead, but you got to keep the pedal on the gas. You cannot let up and let Microsoft gain any momentum if they want to keep this big hardware lead. Because here's the thing that I see. I see Xbox One with Halo 5, with holiday exclusive Tomb Raider, with Forza 6. They've already said that they're going to have a Rare title that will be out this year. Those are going to be solid exclusive games that people are going to want to play. And they're only going to be on Xbox One. And the counter is going to be, well, we got an extra map for Call of Duty on PlayStation. No, I mean, that's not going to be enough. You need solid ties. Like, I truly think they didn't know until this year that Uncharted was going to be delayed. And that hurt them. Because if Uncharted was sitting in November where it should be, no, we would not be having this conversation. You know what I mean?
The part that bothers me is that they're seemingly getting a pass.
Yeah.
Tell me about it. If it was Xbox, oh my God, forget it.
If it was anybody, if it was Xbox or
even Nintendo, I mean, anybody would be guilty of the same thing.
They're fully. I mean, with Nintendo's case, they're completely first party with like a 5% investment in third parties, right?
Yeah,
but for the most part, this is a company that's always prided itself on its first party, delivery, and then now that they're literally coming in with empty hands, like with crumbs on their palms. They're literally getting a pass. Now, people are going to turn and probably look at us, oh, well, why are you guys now all of a sudden jumping on the bandwagon of, but it's not fair. I mean, they need to get the criticism just like everybody else, that if they're not going to, if they're not going to bring, I don't know.
Well, here's
what
the thing.
Can they bring?
Well, here's the thing, Pete. Here's how I look at it. It's not even a thing of being fair or whatever. Look, business is business. Reality is reality. We don't know until E3 actually gets here and we see confirmed dates that Microsoft's even going to be able to deliver themselves on these exclusive games. They can talk a big game, but you got to show us. I need to be seeing these games in action with the release date in 2015. If we get that, and then we see what Sony has, and they're telling me I need to play Tearaway again, even though I played it on the Vita, and I need to play God of War Remake again, then it's like, come on, dude. No Man's Sky, I'm sure they're going to push that big time, but we still don't even know what the hell No Man's Sky really is. So
and it's only a timed exclusive. It's not a full-on exclusive.
But to be fair,
when you're done, I have a question when you're done.
Okay, but to be fair, even with it being a time exclusive, I mean, you can make that same argument about Tomb Raider. It's not a true exclusive, but the fact that if you want to play it in, let's say, the next 6 months, you're going to have to pick it up on a PlayStation 4. That kind of makes an exclusive to a hardcore gamer, which are the people that we're talking to right now. You know what I mean? Same goes for Titanfall. Titanfall's eventually going to be on a PlayStation 4, but were you going to be willing to wait to play it on the PlayStation 4? No, you're just going to get it on Xbox One if you want to play it that bad. So I don't think the time exclusive thing is a big enough deal that, I'm sure Sony's front and center going to have No Man's Sky out there, but I simply don't think that's enough. And like you said, I don't think they should get a pass for that. Now, I play the majority of my third-party games on a PC, but if I were to play third-party games mostly, I probably would be playing them on a PlayStation 4. But I think if I'm a mom looking to get my kid a console this holiday, and let's just for argument's sake say that the PlayStation 4 stays at $400, the Xbox One is $350, and there's all these games that I know little Johnny wants to play, then guess what? I'm going to get an Xbox One because it's going to be the better value this holiday. And I think that's what people are being short-sighted with when they give Sony this pass, saying, oh, it'll be okay. No, I personally think they need to drop the price to $350, especially since they don't have the games. And they need to sell me on why it's okay that I don't have the big Sony titles coming this holiday. And they need to show me they better almost guarantee me I'm going to have all this stuff to play in 2016. Or why would you not go with Xbox at this point?
Well, I have two things to tell you, Paris, and everybody else. Like, if they do announce Uncharted Remaster Collection, is that okay? Is that enough or not? And I'll ask this question after you answer that. After you answer that, so
for me, I mean, I'm kind of over the remakes thing. Like, honestly, the Gears of War remake, I roll my eyes at that. I could care less about that. So I'm sick of remakes.
It was coming.
Yeah, we know it's coming. Yeah. We know this stuff is coming, but I'm tired. Like, they're even talking about the Arkham Knight series is getting a remaster now.
Yeah,
it's supposed to be coming out.
Too close.
It's too much. Yeah,
it's too much. So to me, none of those type of games matter to me. I want original games. If you're going to give me a sequel, give me a real sequel. Don't remake the sequel to the sequel of the sequel. You know what I mean? I'm tired of that. So
it's almost as if next gen really means HD remakes.
For now.
To me, what it means is a way to monetize backwards compatibility. That's what it is to me.
Yeah. All right. So my second question is for all of you guys, is that what makes a great press conference when you show games that is coming out this year and then have another segment, games for next year, the videos are going to be a little bit shorter because you really want to focus on 2015, or mix it all around, show games here and there. Some of them, it will say this for this year, some is for next year, but there might be some games that they won't show no dates, but then later after the press conference, after you review and everything, like overall, like from the media, then you find out that game is not coming out in 2016. Because usually Sony is really good at that, hyping the crowd up, and there's no dates for those games, right? And last year when we went to the Microsoft press conference, what they did was they focused on that year. And then after they were done, they show, okay, now our second half is going to be for games that's coming out next year. You know what I'm trying to say? I think to me that's more organized like that. But have it games like all over the place and then Powers in the middle.
But Danny, that doesn't matter. But it matters to us, the quote unquote hardcore that we're sitting here doing a podcast about this stuff. But in reality, it doesn't matter. It's all in how you present your message, because let's go back 2 years ago. I mean, what did PlayStation really show us other than $299 or $399 and no DRM? And those two things alone have carried them to where we are today. Just on that alone. It wasn't about games. It wasn't about release dates, any of that. It was about the message to that, hey, we care about you, the gamer. And as long as you can always convey that message at your press conference, you're going to, quote unquote, win E3. Because look, if Microsoft comes out with all these games, they show off impressively, but they show compassion. They show we realize we screwed up, and here's how we're going to fix it for you, the gamer. Everyone's going to love Microsoft this year. If Sony comes out and says, well, we ain't got no games, it's still going to be $399, and oh, guess what? Here's Adam Orth. Say it. Deal with it. And people are going to hate him. You know what I mean? It's the same thing.
But here's the thing. Last year, one of the things that I really, really liked about the press conference of Microsoft last year was that Phil Spencer gave props he mentioned their names and gave them props at the press conference Sony PlayStation, Nintendo. He's like, look, this is an industry, we're growing. You know, like he gave them props. Then I go to the Sony press conference, and I mentioned this to Paris too, and I paused last year. I'm like, man, it won't look good if Sony trash Microsoft at a press conference after them giving them props and respect. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, and they did that. They basically dissed them, but they didn't mention their name. But everybody knew who they were talking about. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know.
But does that matter? Because honestly, I didn't even remember that.
Hardcore.
Yeah, I didn't even remember that till you just said it.
I have a pretty good memory.
Yeah, I think it matters more to the people that are there, but you know, for the larger people watching at home, they're caring about the wow factor, probably most importantly, because that draws the audience in. And like you said, Danny, if you spread it out where you have the first half 4 games that come out that year, that's just going to work better. Because the last thing you're going to do is show them an amazing game concept and then say, oh, but that's going to come out sometime in the future. And then you just kind of lost that initial wave you're riding. So ideally, if you can get a game out within a year and a year and a half of release, that's ideal. But I think the power comes from showing the playable demos, like, you know, this theoretical Fallout 4 demo, this theoretical Doom 4 demo that may or may not happen at Bethesda, as long as things like Mirror's Edge 2 gameplay. I think that's what's going to draw the audience and expectations of things like that, because, you know, we know we're going to see Call of Duty gameplay on stage. You know, we're going to see Star Wars Battlefront gameplay, these things we're going to expect. But I think it's the unknown that's going to draw the audience and get people talking. And again, like you said, Danny, you don't want to focus too much on, we have really cool stuff coming in the future, because the people that already have the consoles, they are starved. We are starved for new content. We need it now. We want to know what's going on in the holidays. So that's the big surprise for us. You know, what Sony and Microsoft put out this year.
And I'll throw this in, to be honest with you, my hype factor has nothing to do with Xbox or PlayStation or Nintendo this year. It has to do starting with that Bethesda press conference and ends at that EA press conference, and it's Fallout 4 and Mass Effect. Those are the 2 games I'm looking forward to seeing this year. You know what I mean? So in reality, it's not even the major guys that are probably going to wow us this year. It's going to be the third party.
And surprises though.
Yeah, I want surprises from the big 3, but like I fully expect to be wowed by Bethesda and EA, like you said, and Ubisoft. I'm sure you show me Rainbow Six gameplay, and I'm already, I want it. So it doesn't take much, but the big 3 again, like it's up in the air. We don't know, but maybe no expectations are better. You know, maybe they can wow us without us being disappointed that they didn't show off whatever it is people want right now.
Look, think of it this way, and maybe this is a transition. I don't know, but if Fallout 4 and Mass Effect have open worlds on the scale of what I'm doing right now in The Witcher 3, I just take my money. Here, I'm throwing PayPal at you, Visa cards, everything. Just take it. Yeah. You got me.
I don't want to. I won't go that far.
No, I'm a sucker for open world games.
No, because it sounds good, but I want to see how it plays. Like when CD Projekt showed us The Witcher 3 last year, for the past 2 years, as a matter of fact.
2 years, yeah.
The past 2 years, I was just like, wow. You know, so...
that amazing PC hardware, wow.
Yeah, but honestly, Mass Effect, that's not going to be for a while that's coming out, man. Because, I don't know.
Yeah, you don't think that could make a holiday of next year? I think it could.
Yeah, I do. That's when I expect to see it, actually.
Yeah, otherwise they wouldn't show it this early with, you know, build false expectation.
Man, if it's not like that, maybe early 2017.
That's pushing it, I think. Because you want to keep the brand relevant. You don't want it to fall into obscurity.
But here's the thing, though. You know, when we went to the Sony press conference, what was the thing that everybody was talking about when they showed us Kingdom Hearts for the first time?
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
That game is not coming out for a long time. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know, man. Look, I was very disappointed with EA's press conference last year.
I'm the only one who liked it. Whatever.
Man, when they show all those games, actually all those videos of
the game concept videos,
yeah, it was just, I don't know, man. Really? That's why I feel that Mass Effect, I think that is not coming out to like maybe early 2017. But hey, I might be wrong. I don't know. Maybe Paris is like crying in a corner right now.
I don't know.
No, not 2017. No.
Got to show me gameplay.
Now, if both of them come out at the same time, Fallout or Mass Effect, which one will you buy first? and play first.
Yeah, he said it. Mass Effect.
Mass Effect. Oh, wow. Fallout 4 over here. No question.
Hesitation.
No
and you,
question.
Pete, and you?
I already said it. Mass Effect.
Okay.
And I'm not that big of a fan of either of the series. I enjoyed. Let me say this right here.
Yeah.
I fell asleep the first 30 minutes of Mass Effect 1. I took a pass on 2 because I was like, I'm not going to go back to sleep. I'm not going to pay $60 to fall asleep.
2 was the best one in the series.
That was the best one.
And number 3 is what actually hooked me in, and I really enjoyed 3.
So you still not played 2?
No.
Oh my good googly moogly. You need to go back and play that game. I honestly, and I think we've even said this on the podcast before, but that was arguably the best game of last generation. It's in the top 3 for me. Easily.
It's up there.
That. Red Dead Redemption is mine, but Mass Effect 2 is really up there.
Yeah, that game reminded me of Empire Strikes Back Star Wars.
Yes, it was. It was like Dirty Dozen. Oh, yeah,
starts hard, ends hard, whole way through is a blast.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah. Well, this is the time that we, get to see leaks here and there from different companies. I don't know if it's on purpose or what.
They don't know it's on purpose.
I don't know, man. Look, I'm not a fan of leaks. For like when we're at E3 in line, there's one person in this crew. I'm not gonna mention his name. He's always checking on his phone, going to NeoGAF,
stuff like that,
going to Twitter to see if there's any leaks, and he'll go, "Hey guys, the new Halo's coming out," or who mentioned like names. I'm like, oh my god, please don't kill. I want to be surprised. He's very quiet right now, but you know who you are. Anyways,
Pete.
So right now, no,
really, really.
No. Anyways, so there. P only been to E3 once.
This is my first E3. This is my first E3, so I don't know.
Yeah,
nothing.
right.
It's your first E3 in 2015.
Anyways, so there is a leak right now of the new Xbox One controller that now is going to have a headphone jack. I think someone from this podcast was complaining about this for a while. Paris, didn't you complain that you couldn't connect your
and I'm still complaining
headset?
about it. I'm still salty. You know how salty I am about this.
I know.
You sit there sending me that nonsense this morning.
No, but was that enough?
No.
You finally could connect your headset.
No. Here's the thing. And I hate to agree with some of the troll tweets I saw today about this nonsense.
What you're gonna say.
Yeah,
but. This is how it should have been from day one. And now you're telling me I got to go spend $50-$60 to fix your problem. And you already made me spend $25 on your stupid chat adapter. So now I'm stuck. No, I'm not letting this ride. Look, okay, all jokes aside, it's the right move, obviously, because that the original controller forcing you to use a chat adapter was ridiculous, right? Mm-hmm. So moving forward, yes, this is a good thing that they did, but people like me, there will be a little bit of salt. It just will be. You can't get around that. And I'm sure they understand that. They understand that early adopters will be upset about this. But moving forward, thank you for fixing one of the biggest headaches I have on the Xbox One. I should be able to plug in any headset I want and be able to chat with people. So if that's what this is doing.
But that does, I don't think that guarantees.
I know, and that's my worry. We don't know yet.
Like, in an ideal world, I would be able to plug in my iPhone, iPad headset that's got a built-in mic and be able to plug right in and boom, I can talk and chat.
Should be that easy.
Would be ideal because I mean, if I could sit there and wear earbuds and have a mic and talk to my peeps, I'm all in. Throw my money I throw my money at almost everything that they put out, anyways, right?
I stopped now.
Yeah. But if you look at the controller, that controller still has that expansion port for the chat adapter, and actually says it on their write up on support.xbox.com.
What it says?
It's slot number 9. It's label number 9 is where is it? Expansion port used to connect other accessories such as the Xbox One chat headset. And it's not going anywhere.
Hey, look, I already got the stupid thing, so this really doesn't matter to me anyways. Whatever, but like I said, if it allows chat just like on the PlayStation 4 controller, then good for them, right? If it doesn't, what's the point of this?
Yeah,
because remember where that port is going to be. That 3.5 is literally on the other side of that chat headset. So if you're putting in that chat adapter, you're going to have to get a new $25 chat adapter with the 3.5 inch plug in there so you could talk.
I'm not. I can tell you that. I'll be a non-talking son of a gun on Xbox. That's all I know.
Anyway, so let's go to the next topic because we have to take a short break after this. So I know Paris and I believe Austin are going to be checking out some VR stuff during E3. Can't say what it is. But here's an interesting quote from the CEO of Oculus. This is like during a conference a couple days ago, I believe. He said the headset and computer.
No. Yeah, thank you. Correct yourself.
What?
It's the whole thing.
Package.
Yeah. But I know. I was gonna say that, but you didn't let me finish.
Now
and I'm the one interrupting this podcast.
Now you know how it feels. Carry on.
Okay. The headset and computer to run, it will cost you $1,500. So, saying stupid thing like that, I think is not going to attract people to buy your product. If you have a computer, that's fine. Just mention the price of your headset. Don't mention the computer. By saying $1,500, it's not going to. Why?
Because you want to mislead your consumer base and say, okay, well, and this is an arbitrary number. I'm not on this. This is not what the actual price is. Mm-hmm. Let's say that he comes out and says, okay, the Oculus is $750. So you go buy that $750 headset, but you've got a chintzy gaming machine from 4 years ago that cannot run it, or the software needed to make Oculus work the way it's supposed to. Now you've pissed off your consumer base because now they've got a $750 paperweight that they can't use until they upgrade all of their components. So what he's doing is giving people a broad spectrum of this is how much or more or less what you will need in play to have Oculus and a computer, work simultaneously and provide you with what they're conceiving virtual reality.
Pete, I understand you're defending your PC stuff. It's cool. I understand.
It's not even about the
PC thing.
No, but here's the thing. I want to know about the product. How much is the headset? And then later talk about computer. But mention how much it is first. How that is going to make me want to buy the VR,
someone
dude.
like you who does not have a gaming PC, or someone who does not have a PC that's capable of running this, if you were to go out today and pay for that Oculus headset, got home, plug it in, and realize, oh, my computer can't do this, wouldn't you be pissed off?
Pete, it will say in instructions about that stuff, what type of hardware you need. Mention the price of the headset. Why can't not mention? They've already
said that you should have a 9 series PC video card. So you're already looking at a minimum of $200 to $300 investment on top of whatever on top of whatever Oculus is going to be, because you're going to need a minimum 960, 970, 980 for Oculus to work well.
That's why I stick with consoles.
Yeah, but at least he's honest. He's coming out in front of it and saying,
he's telling
giving no one false hope.
If you want Oculus, you need to drive the Mercedes of gaming. Yeah. You can't go around with the Toyota, 3-door hybrid known as the Xbox.
It's not for the people that go out and buy laptops at Best Buy or Target, whatever. They want to be clear that this is not going to be something, at least initially, for the mass casual consumption. This is initially a hardcore product, hardcore niche for hardcore games, and they'll see how it works out. But makes sense.
This is the reason why Facebook purchased that company.
Well, eventually, to make it mass market. Early on, you don't expect it's going to run on your HP laptops, your gateway laptops, that kind of stuff.
It's not going to be a hit.
Just saying it's for the hardcore person who builds their own PC, using that wording of saying the $1,500 range. I think it's just safe to get out in front of this, because there's too much speculation right now.
All right, before we go take a break right now, what is going to be the VR that's probably going to be the most popular one once it comes out? Out of all the VRs
Morpheus?
That we know.
Yeah, Morpheus.
Morpheus, you think so?
It'll be the cheapest. And it's on a console, so it'll have the biggest penetration.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I can see that. What about Valve?
A killer app.
Because Valve is coming out, I believe, this holiday.
Yeah, and that runs on a gaming PC.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure they'll push Portal 3 with that super hard whenever that comes out. So I think that's fine.
Or Half-Life 3.
Or Half-Life.
That's not gonna happen. Yeah, good luck with that. All right, guys, we're going to take a short break, and once we come back, we have, of course, fan mail, and also a special audio from Chip and Zach. I'm going to play it later on. And The Witcher 3 review. Probably finally going to talk about the game, and that's about it. So we'll be right back after this.
Voicemail 786-2737-GTR.
All right, everybody, DraftKings. DraftKings.com is the official daily fantasy partner of Major League Baseball. Daily fantasy means no season-long commitment. At DraftKings, it's like a brand new season every time you play. Now, again, I just read from the copy, so let me talk from the heart just for a second. And Pete, please jump in if you want to say anything. But I am a fantasy junkie. Normally it's fantasy football, but with DraftKings, they have daily fantasy. So with it being Major League Baseball, every day you have the ability to select 2 pitchers, 8 position players, jump in with your salary cap, manipulate it to the best of your ability, and if you come out on top, you get cash prizes. I mean, right now they have over hundreds of thousands of fantasy sports players out there playing, and there is a $300 million worth of prizes being rewarded this season.
So in other words, you're saying I can go in to DraftKings.com, create my personal all-star team, and have a chance of winning $300 million?
Exactly. Now, there's a cap to it. There's a salary cap, so everybody doesn't run out and get the best players. You got to be smart about it. But like my strategy is you try and get some decent position players, and you try to find that diamond in the rough pitcher that's hot that night. You kind of look at the matchup. You got to be smart about it. Again, it's fantasy sports. But the payoff is if you hit it just right, you're going to get paid for this. And with us, if you use our promo code Gamertag, you get to play for free. So again, DraftKings.com. Use our promo code Gamertag. Go to DraftKings.com.
Voicemail 786-2737-GTR.
All right, so we're back here, Gamertag Radio, episode 483. And now let's talk about The Witcher 3, developed by CD Projekt, published by Warner Brothers. I believe Poston is ahead of all of us.
Yes. I don't want to brag, but yes.
Yeah, I'm close to you.
Well, you should be, because you had the game 4 days before I did. So how about that?
True. That's true.
Full disclosure, I'm 73 hours in. I'm level 18, and I am completely addicted to this lovely, lovely game.
Nice. I'm like level 11, but I'm doing a lot of side quests, not enough main quests. That's why it's taking for me forever to level up. But plus, a little bit about, for those that are listening that never heard of The Witcher 3, tell them a little bit about the game.
Yeah, so Witcher 3 is the third in a trilogy of games based off a series of novels by a man. I will not try to butcher his name, but he's a Polish author, been writing for years. You can look him up. He's very famous over in Poland. Essentially like they're Tolkien over there, but very popular novels, been writing them for years. Huge amount of lore, backstory they can pull from. So the third Witcher this time around is trying to be a more approachable entry into the series. Mm-hmm. And for me, someone who skipped the first one entirely, tried to play about an hour of the second one, just couldn't get into it. So I've definitely felt like I was tossed into this fantasy world. It's very well developed. You can tell that it has pulled inspiration from a lot of different sources, but has basically written all of the hard stuff in there, its own languages, its own cultures, its clashes, its histories, its wars. And it kind of just throws you in the middle of this huge conflict where when you pick the game starts off, there's this empire called Nilfgaard that is, had a long campaign of warring to basically conquer the continent, subjugate all the kingdoms, basically rule. And you are a witcher who is a monster hunter by trait. You were trained since birth to basically kill monsters. You do it very well. You have special mutagens that help you. And it's just like a third-person action-adventure RPG, real-time combat, very difficult real-time combat at that, but also very rewarding, too. It's definitely one of those games that you have to give it some of your time to learn because you're not going to be proficient from the beginning. But once you pick up on the concept of parrying, dodging, using silver sword versus the steel sword versus the monsters and the humans, there's just a lot of depth and element in there, not to mention that you can do little basic magic called signs, such as giving yourself a shield. You can light enemies on fire, push them on the ground. Really a lot of really cool stuff. That my favorite part is it gives you all this stuff the majority of it at the beginning of the game. It gives you a horse to get from point A to point B quickly, gives you all your skills, makes you feel like you are this badass, monster hunter, because, he's had a trilogy of games to go through to become the legend he has. And, if you're new to this, you can kind of be lost here and there. But I think the game presents itself in enough way where you pick up on context clues, you pick up the companion characters who talk to you, and you just very quickly from the beginning, you become lost in this world. It's gorgeous. There's always something around the next corner that's going to draw your attention. I mean, literally, you bring up the map and you're like, okay, I'm here. You zoom in out some more, you zoom in out some more, you zoom out some more. You're like, oh man, I have no idea where I am. And that's the fun of it. You're just like, yeah, I can go do the main quest that's way over here, but look at all this stuff. I mean, you just get stopped by every single little thing. And, I've yet to be really disappointed by some of the stuff I've come across. It's really ranges the gamut of, really depressing, funny, action-packed, mystery, a little bit of horror here and there. Overall, it's a very immersive world and one of my favorite I've explored in recent time.
Yeah, here's the thing that my issue that I have with the game is that the choices, man. Sometimes I'm like, should I do that? Should I not? I was playing one of the Witcher contract or side quests, one of the two, and I had to go fight at different locations, and they were like making bets and all that stuff too. So one of the guys that I met, he was like, "Please don't make me lose. I'm trying to get this money for him to buy food and all this stuff." And I by mistake I said, "Don't worry, I'll promise I'll lose." Right, but then I hit the button so many times that I beat up the guy and I beat him. So I won the battle, and he looked at me. He's like, "Man, you're a liar." He was extremely pissed that I lied to him. So yeah, you got to be really careful on the choices you make in the game, because that will affect not only the story, but also there will be quests that will open up randomly based on your choices. And so you got to be really, really careful.
Yeah, some of the repercussions don't make themselves known until much later too. It definitely can, make a diversion in the story, if you will. But yeah, some of them are very hard to call. It's definitely not like a Jedi Sith black or white kind of choice. All of it's very morally gray, and The Witcher is by proxy. You're supposed to be neutral in these situations, but there's a lot of stuff that you get affected by emotionally. Like sometimes you have to step in and make a choice because you feel it's the right thing, or this person deserves to die. And a lot of like you said, there's a lot of parts where you just have to stop and be like, oh man, I don't know what I'm going to say here. And I like that some of the choices it forces you, gives you a timer and says you have to make one of 2 or 3 choices within a certain amount of time, or we'll just leave it to chance. So it keeps you on edge, and I enjoy it. The conversations are always very engaging. Great voice acting all around.
Yes, and really, music. Love the
music is fantastic. It really sets the tone for these epic conversations between kings and emperors, and you're the middleman between all this, trying to decide the balance of power, and very cool, empowering feeling. For sure.
My favorite part of the whole music thing is every time you finish a quest, when it pops up that loud horns.
You get your subwoofer on too, it rocks the room you're in. It's pretty nice.
But what about you, Pete or Paris? I know you guys been playing it for the PC. Anything you like to say about that version?
I'm stuck on a part where I'm halfway through the actual thing, through the actual game part. There's a quest that I have to do, and I can't get out of it because I'm too low level for it, and it's part of the main story. So I, unlike everybody else, have been just focused on getting the main quest out of the way, and I figured I'd do the side quests later on. And I've quickly realized the error of my ways, because now I am too weak to continue on just to get out of this one quest, and I don't know or think there's a way to get out of that. I've tried leaving the area, and since it's part of the main plot story of the game, I can't leave it. So I'm just gonna have to sit here and just keep dying for the next 3 months until I can figure out a way to beat it.
Well, you have see that was my issue. At first I was doing a lot of the main quests, and then I got to the point that was getting really, really hard. So then what I was doing was going to different towns, finding out other contract jobs or side quest jobs. I just do that, and it helped me level up. And once I felt comfortable, then I'll go and do the main quest and stuff. But
see, that's great if you have the option to back out of whatever you're doing. I'm in part of the main. And I don't want to spoil it or give it away, but I'm in a part of a quest that's crucial to you to advance in the game. And I can't leave because it's in the middle of the quest. Like, I've already completed one part of the quest, so it's the second half of the quest that I have to finish. So I'm stuck. There's no way for me to get out of the quest to go back, level up to whatever I need to do, and to be able to get back and then do it. So
well, he's a little trick what I do, and it helps me sometimes. If there's an enemy that I'm killing him and I'm almost dying, I run away a little bit far, not too far, and I see that he's not coming. Then I meditate for a little bit so I could at least have a full health bar, whatever. And then I go and attack, and I use a lot of the powers too. Like, I'll use the firepower for like damage and stuff.
Well, it also depends on who you're fighting. I mean, because some of those won't affect them.
That's true. But that's true. That's very, very true. Yeah. All right. Or you could use the trap ones, the trap magic.
For some reason, I use those and they don't do nothing. They do nothing.
Again, it depends who you fight.
Dang, I wish I could share play your game, Pete, and figure out what's wrong, but
maybe we'll talk about it offline or something.
All right.
Yeah. All right, Paris, what about you? You're so quiet over there, man.
Well, gee, quiet. You guys, what's going on? No, I've actually been taking the opposite approach of what Pete is doing and I do as little of the main quest as possible. Like, for example, just without spoiling anything, the first area of the game I've completely 100%ed, and I'm in the second area of the game, and that's my goal again, to completely 100% it before moving on, unless I have no choice if I decide to do something in the main quest. But yeah, I'm just having adventures. That's the way I look at it. I'm just roaming the countryside. I'm talking to everybody I can. I'm trying to learn I'm creating potions, bombs. I'm just doing everything I can possibly do. I'm finding schematics to craft new weapons, everything. I'm having such a blast just investing myself into this world and just feeling that I'm a part of it. And of course, I'm playing all the Gwent I possibly can. That's, the other thing that I'm doing. I would say for me thus far, and the other part of it is I love and I'm playing, Danny, your strategy wouldn't work for me because I'm playing on an actual hard level. So
exactly.
meditating doesn't let me do the little, doesn't let me play it cheap. So I can't do that. So instead, I really have to study my opponent before I go after them. I have to know what their weaknesses are. So I'm reading the bestiary. I'm reading I'm just reading everything I possibly can, so I understand. All right, I need to go into this fight with this, and this. All right, I need to go find these ingredients so I can craft this potion, or I need to get this bomb. Just whatever the case may be. And that's how I'm playing it. Like I said, I'm trying to do this as slow as possible. I don't even know how many hours I got into it yet. I just play when I can. When I tend to try, and when something really cool happens, I'll just shut it off, and then I won't play anymore because I like to think about what just happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's how I know I'm enjoying the game. But technical glitches aside, which we talked about a little bit last week, this for right now, of games I played in 2015, this would be my game of the year easily.
Yeah, same here. I think it's one of the best RPGs that I played in a very long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the best.
To bottom, the game, some of the gameplay decisions just to continue to surprise me. The game design choices that they made, and just some of the ease of use things that you wouldn't expect. Like some of the simple pathfinding skills, like being able to have a climb ability, where you can grab onto a ledge and pull yourself up, or you can kind of do the Elder Scrolls thing where you can kind of cheat and jump up an incline, or your horse can do the same thing or save you from a fall. Just little things like that just help you out, because the fall damage in this game is absurd. Yeah, straight absurd. But very I guess from someone brought this up online, it's probably there to prevent you from getting to an area you shouldn't be and getting stuck. So, but seriously, don't try to jump off things; it will kill you.
Oh, and I'll just make this one other suggestion to Pete. Like the fact that I'm playing the game the way that I am, and this isn't really a spoiler, but the first monster that you'll encounter in this game will be the Griffin, right? Mm-hmm. So by the time I fought the Griffin, I was already so overpowered, I just rolled right through him. I was like, wait, was this supposed to be a challenge?
With that.
Yeah, I was like, this wasn't a challenge. I just took him out, because by the time I had got to the Griffin, I had already forged the Viper steel and silver swords. You know, I already had all the potions I need. It was just everything. So it was just, by the time I got to him, it was like, oh, this is easy. Doop, done. All right, give me my Griffin
Maybe that's something I need to do then. Maybe I just need to sit back and just start playing other parts of the game if I can ever get beyond this part and just focus on the rest of the game. Because if I'm trying to go through this as like a level 4, it's not going to be a fun.
Now, I can say one again without spoiling. One of the non-spoiler things I can say so far that was a highlight for me was I'm just randomly again out in the woods exploring in the middle of the night, and out of nowhere, this big giant bear came at me, and we had a battle.
Yes.
Oh my god, that was good. That was really
he's
good.
tough.
Yeah,
he's pretty strong.
Yeah, so just stuff like that. But to anyone that's playing it and may be struggling at all, I would say really focus on getting your crafting down, getting the potions and all that down. I mean, it may seem tedious at first, but once you know where to go and find all this stuff, again, if you're reading the materials that you have, I mean, it's pretty easy to get all that stuff together and craft everything. I mean, like I said, I'm having a blast with it. And a little pro tip when you're first starting out, the herbalist. You go to her house, which, look, she was kind of fine. I was trying to squeeze some dialogue out of her to see if we could go somewhere that didn't happen. But the herbalist, she has almost everything you'll need early in the game as far as herbs go. You know, so just pick around her house and you'll be good to go.
Well, I want to mention one thing before we go to the next topic. The weather, dude, I love it.
Yeah,
it's fantastic. Like I remember running around. I believe I was going to a town. And I noticed that the cloud was getting darker and darker. Once I got even closer to the town, lightning, and I was like, man, it's getting windy. Like, I love how it changes like the environment, you know. And you can see that from far away that it's dark around that area that you're going to, you know. So I love that. I love the weather system in the game.
Yeah, and the lighting too. Some of the best sunsets I've seen in a video game have been in The Witcher. Really, they kill it with the environmental effects.
Yep.
Welcome to Play It, a new podcast network featuring radio and TV personalities talking business, sports, tech, entertainment, and more. Play it at play.it.
All right, guys, I believe it's time for fan mail.
Fan mail at gamertagradio.com.
Fan mail.
Pete sounded very drunk this time. But it's so good. It's so good. All right, so we're going to play this very quick from Chip and Zach. And once we come back, we got more emails here. Let's play right now.
Coming up in episode number 69 of The Noise, we feature reviews of Shenmue 2 for the Dreamcast and Conker's Bad Fur Day for the Nintendo 64.
Wait, whoa. No. Okay, Chip, hold on a second. First of all, we haven't recorded an episode for Gaming Noise since 2006.
Okay, but I got a Nintendo 64.
Nope.
Conker's, it's a great game.
That doesn't happen anymore. Nintendo doesn't even make games for that console. They make this thing called the Wii U.
But did they still use cartridges?
No,
they said they'd never. What?
They don't use cartridges. That's ridiculous. They use these things called discs, and they make a thing called a touchpad, and it's not. It ain't doing well, man. No, we don't do this.
All right.
Do you own an Xbox One or a PlayStation 4?
I do.
Well, I don't because they're too much money. So I guess you can have your own. You can have your own one-man podcast.
I don't want to do it alone. I've done that before, and it didn't work.
Sorry, look. I don't know if you know this, but I got my wife pregnant a bunch of times. And
you did?
I did. And kids are expensive.
Yeah.
Okay? There's a lot of, I have a lot of kids. I have more kids than I do consoles, so we can't do Gaming Noise anymore.
Do you want to know great news?
What?
I have a third kid coming too.
Get out of here. Really?
Yes. She's on her way.
That's
her
fantastic.
name's Piper.
Her name's Piper? I love that. That's great.
3 kids. We have 6 kids almost.
Well, then I think we need to turn this into a podcast maybe about how we got pregnant too many times.
All right.
No, that doesn't sound right. That sounds offensive. We need to turn this into a podcast about, the comedy of fatherhood.
Comedy of father. So like a podcast about fatherhood?
Yeah, definitely.
That's a comedy?
I think so. I think us getting 6 kids between us is pretty funny in and of itself. But I think we need to talk about how to make you a better dad.
Well, a better dad. So what could we call it? Could we call it like Fantastic Fathers?
Yeah, we could call it that, but that name's already taken, so we can't actually use that. Nor can we use Happy Dads.
Happy Dads doesn't work?
Yep, busyfathers.com is, you don't want to go there.
Those scream comedy, by the way. They seem really...
Yeah, right? So how about, like, Making Dad? Let's go with that.
Making Dad.
Yeah.
I like it. Making Dad with Chip and Zach. We could do that.
I think it sounds pretty good. So we're going to come out with new episodes every Monday.
Making Dad Mondays.
Yep. What are we going to be talking about on our shows?
Zach, I'm glad you asked because we've got some great things lined up. You know, we're going to talk to an OBGYN.
Oh, wow. That sounds pretty personal. But you know what?
She's gonna, yeah. What?
I have always had a list of questions that I've always wanted to ask an OBGYN in case I ever met one.
Right. Well, like what?
Like, you know, basically I want to be the best dad that I can in the delivery room. So if I need to wear a special kind of clothing or if I need to like have latex free gloves, I need to know this.
Like breathable fabrics?
Yeah, that too. And then I want to know about like gentle cesareans.
Oh, well, then you're in luck because we talk about that on a show.
That's pretty great.
You know what else we do?
Sign me up.
We take quizzes. I make you take quizzes from 17 magazine so that you could feel like a teenage girl.
Which is great.
That didn't sound right.
That also didn't sound right, and we might want to call the cops. We also have, what else do we have? We have reviews. We do product reviews. So if you ever want to know what a nose Frida is and how to use it, I will show you that, and I'm going to use Chip as my guinea pig.
That's not good. We also make Emily, my fiance, get sick multiple times on the show, and she comes on to give us advice for dads ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely. So basically, we've transitioned away from video games a little bit, but at the same time, you know, a lot of gamers are growing up and a lot of gamers are having babies. So what we're focusing on is all the areas of parenting. Video games will probably pop up at some point. Technology always has a way of rearing its head. And we're going to talk about parenting techniques, what to do in certain situations, and how to deal with being dads or moms.
Hey, do you want to know about a baby that was an amazing baby that turned out to be a Hall of Fame podcaster? You know what I'm talking about?
I think you're talking about my good friend Godfrey.
Godfrey, congratulations to Godfrey. He's a Hall of Fame podcaster.
Which we actually met him. It was great. We met him at an E3, and he has very soft hands. So it only makes sense that a soft-handed man would be in the Podcasting Hall of Fame.
At definitely the inaugural class, too. So congratulations to everybody at Gamertag Radio and Godfrey. They're the hardest working people in podcasting. I've said it from day one.
Yeah, absolutely. Great unbiased opinions, great roundtable discussions. Love hearing what you guys do every week. It's one of my favorite podcasts to listen to, and I really appreciate all that you guys are doing for the gaming community out there, guys. Thanks a lot. Keep it up.
Thank you, and thanks for supporting Making Dad. You can listen to new episodes every Monday, makingdadshow.com. Follow us on Twitter at Making Dad Show. And on the Facebooks, Zach, it's over at facebook.com/makingdad.
You got it.
And send us questions at makingdadshow.com. We'd appreciate it. Thanks, everybody.
All right, shout out to Chip and Zach. Their new podcast is launching. They haven't recorded a podcast since 2006. I know them. Like when I started they started in 1999, 2000, around there. That's around that I started my whole PSO radio stuff. So honestly, they're to me they're legends and they're really, really cool. And they've always been supportive of supporting us like GTR all the way. So make sure to check out their podcast. Subscribe. Pete Paris, I believe you should definitely check out the podcast, man, because it's about dads, parenthood, man. You know. Check it out whenever you get the chance.
But not Pete, even though he's a dad, he shouldn't. Just me.
I said both. I said Pete and Paris. I said both. Yeah, check it out.
No, I will.
So let's get some fan mail here. I'm going to pick one here for, let's see. All right. So this is for regarding Paris 4K gaming comment from last week. Odie from Chicago?
OD show or Odie from Chicago.
Yeah, Odie from Chicago. All right, he goes, hey, GTR, while I fully agree with Paris and highly doubt that Microsoft and Sony will put out more powerful versions of the Xbox One and PlayStation 4, I think he's giving 4K adoption too much credit. 4K is still a niche in the market and likely stay that way for a while. TVs today last longer and the content just isn't there to justify the upgrade, especially when the most shows still aren't aired in 1080p. Love the show. I'm so happy for your all success. Odie from Chicago. Shout out to him. Anything like this?
So should I retort?
I mean,
you want me to retort?
That's for you, sir.
You should.
Yeah.
Okay.
It doesn't say Danny 4K.
Well, hey, it's the great Sam Jackson.
The Xbox One will never be able to do 4K.
Well, I guess I won't be able to respond because you guys keep talking. So
we're done.
Let me know when you're done.
Interruptradio.com.
Oh man, 43. Okay, so no, I get what he's saying, and thank you for the email. I do appreciate it. My point on 4K is this: prices are crashing. So pretty much, like I said, by the time we get to a single GPU that can do 4K at 60 frames per second on a PC, 4K monitors, 4K televisions will be as cheap, if not cheaper, than current 1080p television. So the point I'm making is anyone going to buy a new television, they're not going to be 1080p anymore. They're going to be 4K by default. That's my point. And that's going to happen in this console generation. And that's going to be the thing that's going to be limiting about these underpowered hardware.
Next one, guys. Pick one.
Okay, this will be from Jose from Aurora, Illinois. Hey guys, first time here. Just wanted to ask Poston J if playing The Witcher after Bloodborne changed his experience at all. I absolutely loved Bloodborne, quite possibly my favorite game ever, and I enjoyed the challenge it brings. Thanks. Keep up the awesome job, guys. Love what you're doing. Also, Bloodborne is worth buying a PS4 for. You won't regret it, Pete Rock. Online works great now. Poston J and I will refund your money if you are not 100% satisfied.
So Poston is doing it too? He's going to
well, I mean, I will side with him. I do think you would like it, Pete. I do think it is a very fun game. And that's a good question, too. Shout out to Jose out there. But yeah, I really do think that playing Bloodborne and learning how to basically adjust to a new combat system that I wasn't familiar with did help me in The Witcher. Because The Witcher, again, there's games I guess that it pulls inspiration from, but as a whole, it's pretty unique in its terms of its approach to real-time combat and, the difficulty it comes from facing multiple combats at the same time, because why I like it so much is no one stands in a big circle, Bruce Lee's you and waits for their turn to come attack you and then back off. Everybody's trying to kill you at the same time. Getting slashed in the back, I think, does at least 2 times damage and will kill you outright. It just made me more aware of my surroundings, being able to tactically block, move, parry, knowing when to use shield, knowing when to fall back. It really made it engaging. And I think playing Bloodborne and suffering through that and, getting good at that game essentially helped me, be more confident, because initially when I picked the hard difficulty setting, some of the initial fights were like, oh man, this seems brutal. Maybe I should knock it down to normal. But it was like, no, let me stick with it. Let the game teach me how to play the right way. And then sure enough, I picked up on things here and there. So, things like, we were mentioning this earlier, but the horse combat and The Witcher is probably my favorite mounted combat of any game ever. And it's very difficult to use, but once you master it, it is absurdly powerful. And you can mow down entire groups of enemies that you can never take down on mounted combat by yourself. So yeah, I do think that Bloodborne, because it is that kind of challenging where you can't get the full value of it just by, throwing yourself at it over and over again, hoping that something will work. You do have to think tactfully. You do have to approach situations sometimes in the right way and the wrong way to kind of learn from your errors. Like we said earlier, consult the bestiary, learn what these things are weak against, what you should be using, if you aren't doing any damage at all, rethink your tactics. But yeah, it's made it a lot more enjoyable, because if I had gone maybe straight from something like an Elder Scrolls to straight to The Witcher 3, I probably would have had a much more difficult time adjusting. But having that experience earlier this year with Bloodborne, I think, really made me a better player in terms of my spatial awareness. I think that's what it all comes down to is, knowing how far away, you can dodge that claw, that sword, and then get back in and get the most amount of damage before you get hit again. But yeah, it really made it a lot more fun, I think, in my opinion.
All right, I have another one here. This is from GX Studio. Hey guys, I'm a big fan. Found your podcast a little over a year ago and listen to it every single week. Well, thank you, sir. I am wondering what you think the future of skateboarding video games will be, especially for current consoles. I know that a new Tony Hawk game is in the works, but I'm wondering what else we might see and how they will be different than the previous gen games. I used to love playing those type of games, and he said playing
Ollie Ollie. It's an indie
Ollie?
skate game. Yeah,
Okay.
I've played it on the Xbox One. It's a lot of fun.
And also addicted to Project Skate for Android, but I'm waiting patiently for another true console skateboarding game. Glad to hear from you. Love the show. Thoughts?
I think we need a Skate 4. I think the writing has been on the wall for a while, and EA, if they're not secretly working it already, needs to make an announcement. E3 would be great.
Yeah, that's something that Pawson mentioned last week. I'd love to have something, while it's not skateboarding, because I used to be more into BMX, I'd love to see something along the lines of...
Like a Dave Mirra comeback?
Oh my God, I was so addicted to Dave Mirra Extreme BMX.
Yes.
That was my bleep right there for a long time on the PS2. Yeah, so I would love to have that come back.
All right, so we have one more email, and then we'll play a voicemail. So anybody else would like to read one more?
I'll read last one from Carlos. What's up, guys? Just listened to your last podcast, and you brought up some topics about this generation consoles having a less lifespan than the previous consoles. I have to say I agree, considering how fast technology is moving. Now I have a few questions regarding this. First off, do you guys believe that Windows 10 and the cross-platform between PC and Xbox would allow someone like Paris with his NASA spaceship gaming computer cross-play a game, and that his PC would upscale that game to his hardware's limit? And his second question is, do you guys believe that maybe Microsoft is experimenting with this because perhaps the next console will in fact be a gaming PC? Love the show, guys. Gamertag is Los1652 on Xbox One.
All right. Paris, with your NASA spaceship gaming computer.
It's a federal grant
game. He hasn't said a word. I think he's in shock.
No, I'm here. I didn't know you want me to answer it first. I figured let someone else. I talk too much as it is.
Well, I know something. This is something that Paris has brought up many months ago. When we were discussing I think it was DX12 and the whole concept of future consoles just being an app on a Windows box. Then it wouldn't have to be a console. It could be a gaming PC running the Xbox app. So I wouldn't see why that would be far from the future. I don't see it being an issue. They've already shown that they can do cross-plat gaming between Xbox and PC in the past, a la Shadowrun and other titles, and I think they're going to be doing it coming up this generation as well. Plus, you can, now with Windows 10, you'll be able to stream your game from the console to the PC and vice versa, I believe. Paris, if I'm wrong, correct me. So I don't see how, I don't see that being an issue, and I see it as a very valid possibility. Whether it happens, it's up to Microsoft at this point.
Well, yeah, they haven't officially said yet if you can do it the opposite way. If I guess you can do PC games to the Xbox One, but I mean, come on, it's eventually going to happen. We know it is. I think everything that he was saying, the potential is there for it to happen. Will it happen after this console generation? Probably not. I think we get one more console cycle before we see something like that, but it'll definitely happen. And look, if it was up to me, it would happen now, but that's another story for another day.
Yeah, I got everyone else a little bit of time to hop on the bandwagon, but I really like the second part of that question of next console, maybe not next, but the one after that being a gaming PC. I think that's a smart move in the long run. If digital distribution truly is the future and we can cast off brick and mortar and use games for, a better hardware system, better functionality, faster software, SSD drive in the system, more power. I think that should definitely be the direction we're going towards. But, as a console gamer, I agree with Paris. I think at least one more console generation will manifest itself, because before we have to face these really difficult questions of what is the future of console gaming? Is it just going to Mass Effect 3 style, blend together technology and console and PC going to hold hands in the field and run away together? Or, are we just going to keep being divisive and just keep making new SKU models of Xboxes and PlayStations? We don't know, but, I think all that matters is we're going to have good gaming in the future.
Oh, hell yeah.
The platform eventually is going to become irrelevant at some point. We're all going to have our Okama game spheres a la South Park, and we're all going to be sitting on the couch having fun, all that good stuff. But that's why we go to E3. We don't know what the future technology is going to hold. Things like CES always surprises, because that is where you can push to new technology. And I really would love to go to an E3 one year they blow us out of the water and say, hey, next console, it's a gaming PC. We're crossing that divide. That would be amazing.
Well, where is the whole Steam Machine stuff, man? What's up with that?
They're failing on that, man. That was such a marketing hype for that. And I was so on board, but they've just so let that. It's like, we'll pass it off to the hardware manufacturers and let them figure it out. Like, no, you got to have a unified message if you want to be aggressive and steal console gamers away from consoles. And I think the longer you wait, that just means more people are going to make the plunge and buy the PS4, buy the Xbox One, and then to them they're set for the next 5 to 7 years. They're not even thinking about a game PC.
We'll see in 3 weeks when we go to E3.
I think it's going to be a flop, but whatever. Anyways, let's play a voicemail right now, and let's see what you have to say.
Hey, good afternoon, Danny, Austin J, Pete Rock, and Paris. How you guys doing today? I just wanted to say to you guys, congratulations on all of the success that you guys have obtained. I think it is an incredible story, an incredible journey. This actually being the 10-year anniversary, I hope I'm not wrong in saying that, but this being you guys' 10-year anniversary and things just falling in place like they are, I think it is the best timing ever. What better way to celebrate 10 years of doing something that you're very passionate about, and it comes across in the podcast that you guys do. Congratulations, Danny, on being abducted into the Podcast Hall of Fame. That is incredible, brother. I mean, such a huge thing. It's so motivational and very powerful, man, that hard work, it really does pay off, and having a passion of not doing it for the money, not doing it for recognition, but just doing it because it's something you love to do. That says a whole lot. So congratulations on you for that, as well as the Gamertag Radio crew. I really appreciate also, Danny, and I'm sorry I'm becoming long-winded, but I just want to say I really appreciate the fact that you have not forgotten the people who've gotten you to this point, where I thought it was very, very touching that you said that you would not be in the position that you're in without your crew, without your people having your back through the hard times, the good times, and, the bad times as well. So I really appreciate that about your character, and I wish you continued success, my brother. But one quick question, though, just to kind of lighten it up a little bit, because I don't want to get emotional, because I love to see people win. But on a lighter note, I wanted to ask you guys, what was that first interview that you guys had? I mean, this could be between the four of you guys, that made you say, you know what, we're actually on to something. Things are getting better. I can see some light at the end of the tunnel. What was that first interview that made you say, man, I can't believe we got that interview with that person? And the second question would be, what would be your dream interview? What person would you love to interview that you haven't interviewed yet, since we are in the wake of E3? Thank you guys so much for everything that you do. I'm so sorry I've been very long-winded with this message, but I really appreciate what you guys do, and I appreciate you guys' hard work.
All right, question. Very quick, let's answer that. I'll go first. The first time that I interviewed someone that I was like, what? Was when I had Jay Adler on our show. That was like way back during the launch of Xbox 360. And who I would like to interview in the future? Reggie from Nintendo. Next.
For me, I would have to say it'd be Sean Baptiste from Harmonix. That happened at EA. I think it was the EA Studio Showcase 2007. It was the best interview I've ever done. That never got recorded, and that was the lesson learner for me. Then I had to turn around. I was like, oh, yep. Always have your recorder on you. Always make sure you're ready for that next conversation you have with somebody, because you never know who you're talking to. Who I would like to pick the brain of. Jay Allard, see what he's up to, see what he thinks of what we're currently going through and how he would fix it.
For those who don't know, Jay Allard used to be the head of Xbox way back. Next person.
Yep.
I guess I'll go. And I have a tie for greatest interview I ever did, and that would be Ken Levine right before the original BioShock came out, and Casey Hudson right before Mass Effect 2 came out. Those are just two people that I couldn't believe that I was getting the opportunity to talk to. And then the interviews that I did with both of them just came out great. I mean, just two of the best interviews I've ever done. Who I would like to still talk to on my bucket list, I'm going to cheat a little bit, and I'm going to say one that I got to do that, kind of like Pete was just saying, that was never recorded. Remember the ultimate fail that I had in 2007 with Cliffy B? Well, a couple years after that, right before Gears of War 2 came out, there was a spring showcase, and me and a couple other people, we just got to just talk with Cliffy B just like a normal person. It was just a completely offline conversation, and we just hung out and talk about video games and everything. It was one of the best conversations I've ever had with a game developer, just being themselves and not trying to sell me on something. You know what I mean? So I'll cheat and say that, but ultimately a person I'd like to talk to that I have not had the chance to talk to would be Gabe Newell, just to pick his brain, you know, just his thought process with everything with Steam, where they're trying to go, his views of the console market currently, his views of Windows right now. Why is he pushing Linux? I want to ask all those type of questions.
Okay. And he doesn't do that many interviews, so yeah, that's a good one. All right, Pasta, very quick.
Big one. For me, it probably would have to be my Rainbow Six Siege interview I did last year that I didn't think I would even have the chance of doing. I think that really opened my eyes to the potential we have last year and moving into this year of like, you know, responsibility that we have now that we have a larger audience, a larger voice to get, you know, good interviews and good questions. And then, you know, I felt like, you know, I was put on the spot. I felt so badass of just softball questions to the Rainbow developer because I was so shocked I was even there in the first place. And I love the game and I get to play hands-on on it. So I was a little biased in that regards, but I think just having an opportunity to get that interview and get into that behind closed doors, you know, last showing of E3 event that really inspired me to be like really calling my A game.
All right. And who?
In the future, next year. Pardon?
And who else? And the second one, we have to wrap it up.
Oh, the second one, the one I want to talk to, Hideo Kojima. One day. That man is just a legend in my eyes. He can do no wrong. He's made two of my favorite game series of all time, Metal Gear Solid and Zone of the Enders, and I just adore everything he does. And I cannot wait to see what he has up his sleeve once we get Metal Gear Solid 5 out the door and shipped. And he has the creative freedom, hopefully, to pursue what he wants to pursue. But I'd love to pick his brain on a number of things, because he just seems like he has a genius mind going on up there. And I'd love to know more about his design process, because he's written some of my favorite characters and plot lines in games, and that takes something special. I'd love to sit down and talk with him.
All right, so guys, we're gonna wrap it up.
Can I cheat real quick?
Yes,
because he just reminded me of something. I'm sorry, but I want to put this out there because this is someone I think anyone that loves gaming period should want to talk to. Shigeru Miyamoto. How could you not?
Oh yes,
yeah, you have to, right? I mean, just the history of video games and just his perspective on gaming in general, to be able to talk to him would be fantastic.
Yeah. He saved gaming. Yeah. I mean, you can't get a bigger title than that. Yeah. The man's a legend.
Yeah. All right. So guys, we're going to wrap it up. Thanks for listening to episode 483. Make sure to go to gamertagradio.com or play.it. Make sure to share the content to your friends, subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, all these places and stuff, man. So spread the word. Also, give us a call, 786-273-7GTR. That's 786-273-7GTR. Email us, fanmail@gamertagradio.com. Anything else, guys? Nope. All right, until next week, we are out. Peace.
Shout out to the Splash Brothers.
And Steph's mama. You go, Sonya. You go.
You're listening to Gamertag Radio. Be sure to like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. Thanks for listening. Tune in next week.